Everyone, welcome to tonight's board meeting. Could we please all stand,
Echo.
pledge allegiance, and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, Terry, could you do the roll call, please?
Dr. Gatachu,
Here.
Dr. Marks,
Here.
Mr. Gordon,
He's on mute.
Here.
there you go. Dr. Gursky. Dr. Gursky? Mr. Reichard?
How'd you get in it? Zoom?
No, Mr. Reichard? Mrs. Fish?
Here.
Mr. Huron? Mr. Kirsch?
Here.
Mrs. Edmeades?
Here.
Okay, so I don't have Dr. Gursky, Mr. Reichard, or Mr. Huron. Is that correct?
It looks that they haven't gotten in yet. You're correct.
Okay.
Oh, Jen just came on, Bonnie, or Terry. Jen
Okay,
just
Dr.
came on.
Gursky? Okay.
Here.
Okay, at this time, I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 13th meeting.
I'll make the motion, Justin.
Thank you, Chris Caston.
Who made the motion, Caston?
Yes.
Second?
I second. This is Johannes.
Johannes, second. Thank you.
Dr. Gatachu?
Yes.
Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
Dr. Gursky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fish?
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch?
Yes.
Mrs. Edmeades?
Yes.
Mr. Huron's on now.
Okay.
Okay, this time we have board administrative reports. First one is Columbia Montour VOTEC. Chris, do you have anything for Columbia Montour VOTEC?
Yeah, I do. I do have two things to share with the group. We completed the process. The team completed the process and hired Mr. Ken Kreider as the administrative director. His tenure was effective last Wednesday, May 20th. So that's the one item. And the second item is the board voted and unanimously accepted Benton's resignation. And we are now in the next part to that evolution, which is working through the settlement agreement and what that means with the final disposition of them leaving the VOTEC. It's going to be a staged approach with some of their students that are, in different levels within the VOTEC school, and more to follow on that, but we're in the midst of reviewing the final settlement document and then the action plan post-settlement document execution. That's it. Those are the highlights.
Sorry. Chris, I'm sorry. I didn't catch who they hired for the director. What was his name?
His name is Ken Kreider, K-R-Y-D-E-R.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Johannes, do you have anything with CSIU?
Yes, three things. First is Dr. Molly Need presented her collaboration with different districts, including ours, on technology and online learning. And those are pretty active. The second one is a budget approval, and the third one was approval of positions, the senior leadership position, including Dr. Kurelja now is the Assistant Executive Director for as of July 1 up to end of June when he becomes the CEO. That's it.
Thank you. We had a project committee meeting. Chris, would you like to speak on behalf of the committee?
Certainly, there's a couple focus areas. We are working through some opportunities to sell the Riverside Elementary property. So there was some ideas and some action plans formulated for that. And then the second one is we are looking at the master plan of feasibility studies is the next disposition there to look at more of the long range planning on the, what we're going to do long term for how we'll break down the primary school and the middle school and some of those. And there's several ideas on the table. I think there was three options. And the next logical step there was to look at contracting the right services to provide some feasibility plans so we can move towards an economic component to build towards a direction for a plan. So those are really the two highlights of that team's discussions.
Any questions? Okay, thanks, Chris. I also would like to say that we had an executive session last evening from 6:30 till about 7:44, and an executive session this evening from 6 till about 7. Both were to discuss personnel issues. Next, we have a motion to approve to going to one meeting per month, the fourth Wednesday of the month, with the exceptions of November and December. Do I have a motion to make that?
I motion, this is Johannes.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Vic. Vic, second.
Thank you, Vic. Terry?
Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Mr. Gordon,
Yes.
Dr. Gursky,
Yes.
Mrs. Fish,
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch,
Yes.
Dr. Gatachu,
Yes.
Mr. Huron,
Yes.
Mrs. Edmeades.
Yes. Okay, at this time, we'll move on with the superintendent's report.
All right, our enrollment is remaining steady. At this time, we have 2,405 students within the walls of the 4 buildings. That includes our pre-K Head Start programs at 124 students. So we're remaining steady. This year, we have at the high school 160 students graduating. Graduation ceremonies with the videotaping of the students is on Friday, May 29th. It will be aired on June 5th. And the valediction has been videoed and it will go live tomorrow at 7 p.m. I also wanted to say that we're looking at honoring some students who received the 2020 Days of Remembrance Essay Contest, which encompasses students from Columbia, Lycoming, Montour, Northumberland, Snyder, and Union counties. They received 110 essay submissions. The purpose of the essay is to enhance the understanding of the Holocaust and to help prevent tragedies in the future. The participants chose from the following topics: anti-Semitism, nationalism, Arianism or eugenics. And we actually had 4 students win. We had the first and second place winners. That was Lily Whiting in first place and Paige Sobel in second. Ala DeWald and Angela Wing both received honorable mentions. So I'd like to congratulate those young people. I don't have the grade levels. They're high school. Kindergarten registration is continuing, and you can go on the webpage and see under the news section, see the link. And actually, Dr. Bickhart created a real nice video to help the parents roll through. We are now doing online registration, so this is the first year for that. The summer lunch meal program, we have decided that we will be handing out the meals Mondays and Thursdays from 11 to 1 at the middle school. We are looking to distribute the same amount, so we will let parents know that. And I'd also like to thank the Giant Company because they have contributed a check for financial support of that program to help aid us in purchasing food, and have offered actually to help us if we needed to get larger quantities than they would have in the store, to see if they can help us on that. So they have been very helpful. Also, we received a $5,500 grant from Karodiski Foundation, and that was something that I worked with Mr. Gump on to look for STEM materials for the Liberty Valley Intermediate School. And the district now will begin its summer schedule on June 8th, where we will be working 4 days per week. The staff works 10-hour days on those 4 days, and then on Fridays we are closed. So that way we have some savings on the utilities. And I think that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will open the meeting to public comment. Please remember, the comment should be a maximum of 3 minutes and for agenda items only. Do we have any public comment at this time?
Yes, we have individual that would like to make public comment. Please unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Oh, uh-oh.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, members of the school board.
Address.
I will give it. My name is Robert W. Buehner Jr. I live at 1026 Charlene Drive, Danville, Pennsylvania, Valley Township, Montour County. I'm here to address the opening of the boys high school basketball position. Tonight it's about fairness, loyalty, and success. Lenny Smith is the most successful basketball coach in the entire area, bar none. 18 consecutive winning seasons, 14 of those 18 years in the playoffs, 325 plus wins. Loyalty. He has been loyal to the school district above reproach. He has dedicated his every year to the basketball program 365 days a year. And it's about fairness. By the way, the school district did not even bother to notify Mr. Smith in writing that this would be on the agenda. He had to learn about it from the news media. But fairness, I know you want to open the position. That's just a polite way of saying termination. If Coach Smith had done something wrong, you would be seeking to terminate him, but he has done nothing wrong. And if he had done something wrong, you would do what you did with the football coach and develop an action plan. There is no action plan. Now, most importantly, an administrator urged Mr. Smith to make a false statement to you, the school board, in order to deceive you. This administrator wanted Mr. Smith to resign for health reasons. So when this item came up on a board agenda, you'd all say, gee, Smith, what a great coach. Too bad he had health reasons. Let that sink in. A school administrator wanted one of your employees to lie to you, to deceive you. I find this outrageous. And if you don't believe me, put a hold on this matter tonight. Bring in Mr. Smith and ask him. If he was told to deceive you, I am certain he will tell you he was. What kind of a school district does that? Finally, the community sentiment is overwhelming in favor of Mr. Smith retaining his position. I have been a public official in Montour County for 42 years and an elected official for 20. I'm often asked by people holding office what they should do. I tell them, do the right thing, do it the right way, do it for the right reason.
You have 30 seconds.
Got it, thank you. So there is only one right thing to do tonight, because this has been going around the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. The right thing is not to open this basketball position up. It is the only fair thing to do. It is the only just thing to do. And finally, and simply, it is the only right thing to do. Thank you very much.
Are there any others?
Raise your hand if you would like to make comment. Okay, go ahead and state your name. Unmute.
Hello? Hi, my name is Beth Keefer, 281 Moser Road, Danville, Pennsylvania.
I'm speaking on,
I guess I would just like to open with a question to all you board members
about the coaching position.
about the coaching position. Sorry, I've never done this before, so anyhow. So first of all, I have 4 boys that have gone through the program. Am I being spoken to? I'm sorry.
No, Beth, somebody was making comments, but it wasn't us. So go ahead and give your time. Start over, Bobby, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I guess I would like to question, just a few things for a coach if, what?
Until your name's on.
Oh. Can I talk now?
Yes, go ahead, Beth. You don't have to say your name again.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so just for any that may not know, I'm Beth Keefer. My 4 children are the Riley boys, and I've been associated with the program for a good 7 to 8 years. In starting the program with my children, with the difficulties that they may have had with the coach and just not seeing eye to eye, I always encourage them to go and try to figure things out because things aren't fair. Things aren't always your way. As it progressed on, things got a little bit more difficult because I'm looking at what good qualities of a coach are, like being able to get the best out of your kids wanting to come to practice, after the kids are under you for a while, to make them better players, to believe in themselves, to be better people after the season, and for a coach to give respect and, you know, to get respect back. And as the years progressed, it was harder and harder for me to send my kids back into the same situation over and over and over again, asking them to be the bigger person. You know, when you're constantly being hollered at for things and trying to keep a positive attitude and moving forward and that kind of thing, it does get difficult. I guess, you know, I always wanted my kids to be able, after a full day of school, to be able to go to an extracurricular activity and be able to enjoy it and have fun and want to go there. And I can't say that for the last 3 years. And again, this has nothing to do with playtime with my children. It has nothing to do, I just feel like a coach needs to be someone that kids look up to, that they can respect, that they have a relationship with. I'm not sure that any of these qualities, he is a winning coach. And yes, that is important. But our kids need more than that. A coach needs to have more qualities to help them through life. I mean, I would certainly hope, like, after, and I also coached for 15 years, so I kind of get it from that perspective as well. I certainly hope that when my kids left, when I coached them, that they had a better outlook on things, a positive outlook on things. It was really difficult watching my kids just year after year come home and go, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with this. It's not fun.
You have 30 seconds left.
Thank you. And again, being that I've been there for 7 years, seen it, sat through it, and I'm a big fan of all the sports, as you well know. And, I guess I just wish that as a board, you would really consider the qualities that this coach has to offer to these kids. Because I feel like coaches need to be better influences on our children.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Anyone else?
Bob Buehner, did he miss? Did we miss him?
No one, there are no other public comment.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. With that, we will move on. There are no presentations or outside guests this evening. We'll move on to consent agenda items. As you can see, they are listed there. Is there any that anyone would like to be removed from the consent agenda items?
See if you go on.
Or any discussion on any consent agenda items? If none, do I have a motion to approve?
It's Jen Gursky. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Christina Fish, I second that motion.
Terry? You're not on mute, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gordon,
Yes.
Dr. Gursky,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Unmute, Daryl. Daryl, sorry.
Yes.
Mrs. Fish,
Yes.
Mr. Huron,
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch,
Yes.
Dr. Gatachu,
Yes.
Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Mrs. Edmeades.
No. Okay, under school property and supplies, we have 4 items. Are there any questions on any of those items?
They went on
I
to,
don't know what they did there. I have no idea.
they went back up to school property and supplies.
Somebody is not muted. There is a public individual.
Kyle, I think it's coming from yours. I'm not sure. Is there somebody else in your house that has something open?
Oh, they are kind of bored.
No, there is not.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm on there 3
There is-
times. I don't know how.
Yeah, there is multiple Kyles on.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
Jeff, are the attendees muted?
That was a public
Yes,
comment. though.
yes, all the attendees are muted. There are, I can't see, I'm gonna have to look. I'll have to watch. There are multiple Kyle Gordons up.
That's the last thing we want.
So I am going to, there's like 3 or 4 Kyle Gordons.
I think there's also Ken Burkish's microphone is on, and I'm not sure who else. Jeff, I don't know if you can mute all participants.
Yeah, I'm going to have to mute the Kyle Gordons.
Okay, are there any questions on school property and supplies? If there are no questions, do I have a motion to approve 7.1 through and including 7.4?
This is Christina Fish. I make the motion to approve 7.1 through 7.4.
Thank
This
you.
is second motion.
Thank you. Terry?
Mute.
I'm unmuting. Dr. Gursky,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard? Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mrs. Fish?
Yes.
Mr. Huron?
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch?
Yes.
Dr. Gatachu?
Yes.
Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
Mrs. Edmeades?
Yes. Okay, under athletics and activities, we have 8.2, girls head tennis coach. Do I have a motion to approve head tennis coach?
I'll make the motion, Caston.
Thank you, Caston.
Earl Reichard, second.
Thanks, Gerald. Terry?
I'm sorry, was it Mr. Reichard and Mr. Kirsch?
Yes.
Correct.
Caston and Daryl.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mrs. Fish?
Yes.
Mr. Huron?
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch?
Yes.
Dr. Gatachu?
Yes.
Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
Dr. Gursky?
Yes.
Mrs. Edmeades?
Yes. Okay, we have nothing under curriculum and management, nothing under school community relations. Under finance, we have bills for payment and budget transfers. Do we want to do them separately or together? Do I hear a motion?
This is Christina Fish. I make a motion to approve 11.1 and 11.2.
Thank you.
Second,
Caston.
Caston.
I don't know who seconded that. Thank you. Terry?
Mrs. Fish?
Yes.
Mr. Huron?
Yes.
Mr. Kirsch?
Yes.
Dr. Gatachu?
Yes.
Dr. Marks?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
Dr. Gursky?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Abstain.
Mrs. Edmeades?
Yes. Okay, under personnel, both items were consent agenda. Policy and insurance, we have 13.1.
12.1.
Which was consent, I'm sorry, all of those were consent, the handbooks. Everything was consent. Okay, under transportation, we have nothing. We have nothing under board concerns and items for next board meeting. Does anyone have any concerns or items for next board meeting? If not, please let Ricky or myself know and we'll make sure that we get them on the agenda. At this time, is there any more public comment?
Raise your hand for public comment. Looks like there's no other public comment.
Thank you. With no other public comment, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second the
Hold
motion.
on a second. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a statement to read before we adjourn.
That's correct.
Okay. The Board of School Directors, District Super-
Ricky needs to unmute.
Okay, sorry about that. The Board of School Directors, District Superintendent, and various administrators, athletic director, and principals all take student participation in athletics to be a meaningful extension of a student's educational career at Danville. The district has two policies applicable. Policy 122, extracurriculars, and Policy 123, interscholastic athletics. Policy 123 provides in pertinent part as follows. The purpose. The board recognizes the value of a program of interscholastic athletics as an integral part of the total school experience for all district students and as a conduit for community involvement. The program fosters the growth of school loyalty within the student body as a whole and stimulates community interest. The game activities and practice sessions provide opportunities to teach the values of competition, sportsmanship, and teamwork. The district's athletic guidelines and procedures on page 2 under the heading of Athletic Philosophy and Objectives states the following. The athletic program is an integral part of the educational process of the Danville Area School District. It promotes a desire in our students and community to take part in sports either as a participant or spectator. Our aim is to develop a competitive student athletes, but not to lose sight of the educational values such as sportsmanship, citizenship, health, and scholastic attainment. The athletic program should also promote school morale and provide an additional source of self-esteem for other students. At all times, the above stakeholders need to ensure participation in athletic activities is both rewarding and an overall positive experience for students. To that end, each year the district evaluates the efficiency of the sports programs. This includes the totality of each sport team's experience to include an overall assessment of each coach's performance. The standard process of coaching the evaluation is as follows. Prior to the start of every athletic season, fall, winter, spring, a preseason meeting is offered or scheduled with each head coach. Throughout any season, there are countless informal observations that are made of every athletic program. These include attendance at practices and events, as well as interactions with a variety of stakeholders, coaching staff, players, families, supporters, fans, and ADs from other districts. At the end of every athletic season, fall, winter, spring, a postseason evaluation meeting is offered and scheduled with each head coach. In this meeting, the season is reviewed and a recommendation is provided to the head coach about their status for the next season. The district reserves the right to make a decision from year to year as to whether a coaching position should be opened up. The process is thorough and comprehensive. In this instance, based on information and feedback from the numerous sources to include a comprehensive evaluation process, a recommendation was made to open and post the boys' head high school basketball position for the upcoming 2020-2021 season. It is believed that this action is in overall best interest of the program at this time. Thank you. Now adjournment.
Thank you, Ricky. At this time, do we have a motion for an adjournment?
Christina
This-
Fish, I make that motion.
Thank
Bonnie,
you.
Bonnie, I would like to make a comment.
Did he say?
I would like to make a comment, Bonnie. This is Vic.
Okay, go ahead.
I do not, as a board member, believe that any administrator misled the board with regard to the basketball coach.
What?
To address Bob Buehner's comment, I do not believe any administrator misled the board. I would just like to state that publicly. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now adjournment is, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned.